I think that digitizing schools is a really important kind of area because the world that we're living in at the moment is very much digitized, and we're preparing our children for that world that doesn't exist yet. So we're preparing them for a future that we don't know what that future is going to look like. But one thing that we can say for sure, that digitization is definitely going to be part of that world. We live in the land of Uber, and Uber doesn't own any taxis, but it's the largest taxi firm in the world. Wikipedia is the largest, dictionary in the world, but actually, it doesn't own any books. So the world is changing. It's very, very different, and it's going to continue to change. And I think what's really important is our ability to prepare children for that world that doesn't exist.
What are the main obstacles for digitization in the school educational system?
I think some of the biggest obstacles is our own mindset and the mindset of teachers, and sometimes the lack of vision that exists within education. We tend to use technology to translate things rather than transform things. If we look at any other industry and we look at how technology has been implemented in that industry, we find that industry has been completely transformed. They're doing things that they were unable to do in the past. Whereas in education, what we've done is we've kind of done the wrong things really well. We've taken old methodology and we've just replicated it with technology. So I used to write on a chalkboard, now I'm writing on a whiteboard, now I'm writing on an interactive whiteboard. It's just the same thing. We need to see how technology can allow us to do things that we were unable to do in the past. The way students can engage with higher order thinking, the fact that students can create things and not just kind of write down what the water cycle is, but actually create it and animate it and put their voice over it and share it with the whole world and invite the whole world to kind of comment on their work and so on. This is kind of real learning. So our ability to kind of create a learning environment that encapsulates that is kind of really is something that is needed. And if we don't change that and we just kind of translate what we're doing, then unfortunately I don't think we'll make the type of progress that we're seeing happening around the world.
What kind of vision do you have at your school?
The vision is believe you can. Yeah. So nothing is an obstacle. It's just a case of finding out how to get around it and how to solve a problem. And that mindset is not just for students, but it's for teachers as well. So it's not about using millions of apps. We can use a few apps and we can do amazing things, And sometimes schools ask the wrong question as well. They say, what's the best app for maths? Or what's the best app, for science? Actually, the teacher is the best app for maths. The teacher is the best app for science because the teacher still needs to plan. The teacher still needs to kind of design the learning. The teacher still needs to measure how well the students have learnt concepts and ideas and other misconceptions and so on. Now, when we say classroom, it's not just tables and chairs. Technology becomes part of that kind of environment as well.
How do you inspire teachers to use technology in their education?
Getting teachers to use technology and inspiring them means that we've got to kind of devote time to it. If we think mathematics is really important, we give it time on our timetable. If we think developing teachers is really important, there should be time for that on our timetable. It needs to be frequent and it needs to be regular. One of the things that we've done at the Olive Tree is we've put our Friday afternoons. It's something that I took from ISA when we kind of devised our school week. We've taken our training days and rather than having them once every so often, we've kind of taken that time and added it on every week. So every week, Friday afternoons, children go home early. We have our equivalent of fika, where the teachers will sit and have coffee and catch up with one another and have a conversation and sharing their ideas and what's gone well and what could have gone better and so on. And then at the same time, we'll then have discussions around whether it might be higher order thinking or whether it might be around formative or summative assessment. And of course, digital tools will feature part of that kind of experience, So storytelling now, the tools that we have are phenomenal. With green screening and stop motion, what we could do is the possibilities are kind of endless. And getting teachers to understand that and getting teachers to think and discuss how they could use that as part of their learning experiences for their children means that it gives them confidence, it changes their beliefs about technology and the fact that it can be simple and reliable, and therefore it becomes effective, and therefore it has a huge learning impact on the children.